Hi everyone and welcome to this my video on collinearity. What? Yeah, I know, specialist maths in Australia and all over the world, undoubtedly useful if you are looking for collinearity. My name is Darren from Maths Guru. Thanks very much for joining me. Yep, my little corner of the internet where you can basically sign up for free, watch these videos, download lesson notes, all that type of jazz. And if you can do me a massive favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel, that would be awesome. No one watches maths videos. I sit here talking to myself quite literally in a room. And the only feedback I really get is if people subscribe and in fact like the content, because otherwise no one's ever going to find it. There's the needy bit over. Right, learning objectives. What are we doing? Understand what it means for 3 points to be collinear and apply those principles to questions. Now, I've got 2 questions provided by Cambridge. Thank you very much, Cambridge. You guys rock. Now, recap. We're heading towards the end of this particular module of the course because, well, there's only so much you can learn, but it does get built on later on in a different section. So, previously, we looked at finding lengths of vectors, drawing vectors, angles between, expressing one vector as a projection onto another. Now we're obviously extending that to collinearity. And again, if you haven't seen my previous videos, they are there on mathsguru.com. Right, let's go. Now, collinearity in itself is pretty easy. Yeah, if 3 or more points lie on the same line, we say they're collinear. So in this situation, we can see the points A, B, and C are absolutely on that same line. And we can use some vector maths to test if all points lie on the same line, which is coming up. Now, for all of this to make sense, we've got to make sure that all of these points are in fact on the same line. Now, if that is true, then A to C, that's there, is some multiplier of my vector A to B. And that comes in really, really important, yeah? That is only going to be true if A to C and A to B are in fact parallel, all right? So all of this sort of builds on what I think is fairly obvious stuff. All right, let's look at the proof behind this. Let's consider the points A, C, and B. And let's say that OA is A, OC is C, and O to B is B. Okay, now we know from what we've just done there, because they're on the same line, we would hope that if they are collinear, A to C is some sort of multiplier of A to B. Okay, now, all right, so we know that C, to get to C, that's the same as O to A plus A to C. So let's say O to A plus A to C. Oh, well, hold on a moment. We know what O to A is, it's A, and we know that A to C is basically some sort of multiplier of A to B. And do I know what A to B is? Well, yes, I can work out what A to B is because it's minus A plus B or B minus A. So that's A plus M lots of B minus A. Multiply that out, A plus MB minus MA, and then take some sort of a factor of A, and let's write it like this for a moment. A, what have we got there is 1 minus M plus MB, or let's write it like this, 1 minus M of A plus M of B. Right, now, okay, what does that even mean? Well, what it's suggesting is, trying to highlight it, is that to get to C, and I'll write that back again, it is some sort of fraction of the length of A minus, no, sorry, that should be plus, so yes, plus some sort of fraction of B. And if you were to move these around, and I can't actually do that in my diagram, but if I was to take this and move it over and put it at the end of B, maybe here, for example, then we could work out that C is going to be some sort of fraction of A plus some sort of fraction of B. And that works very much from what we've done with our linear dependence, right? So again, if that makes no sense, go back, because these vectors here, what have we got here? A and B are not parallel to each other, in which case there must be some fraction of B added to some fraction of A that will give me C. Now, the great thing is here, because it's collinear, we know that that value there and that value there must add up to 1. So whatever this is here, that has to be 1 minus it, or vice versa. So that's actually really, really helpful. Why? Because